today we're gonna make the we're gonna make the bottom part. We're gonna make the circle skirt first. We're gonna talk about the top part later, but for now we're gonna do the bottom part first, right? So yeah, let's do this, right? So here's the thing. So here's my the top part, right? So this is the dress, the top part of the dress that I've used. So let's bring back my model, right? So there you go. So that is it. That is Toby, right? And she's gonna be the model for. Well, she's been the model for my clothing work for I don't know since the beginning. So yeah, we're gonna use it, and yeah. So for my dresses, as you can see, if we do that thing, right? So this is the width, the circumference of the waist. So basically, yeah, this is the difference between the. So in this part, we add a waistband, right? So to make a skirt, you're gonna need a waistband, right? Meanwhile, for dresses, you don't need a waistband because the waistband is the top part of the dress itself. So yeah, so we're gonna measure the waist part of the top part of the dress, and this is a 68 centimeters basically, and because there are yeah 68 edges. So well, you can check that out again with our measure it tools right segment. And yeah, there you go. It's 68 centimeters circumference for the top part of the dress, and we're gonna make it thing. So yeah, we're gonna make the bottom the circle skirt with that information, right? So okay. So by the way, we're gonna need a circle calculator. So this is very handy. I mean, like I've used this previously on the circle skirt. You can watch this. It's basically the same thing, but now I'm gonna just redo it, right? So remember that our circumference is 68, right? So we're just gonna calculate it to get a diameter of a circle, right? So we got that number, right? So okay, so let's so yeah, I've prepared so beforehand I've prepared the skirt. So I've cut it earlier, so just to make it a little bit quicker, right? So but basically right now, so if we add a mesh, we get a circle, and we get the diameter of it. We gotta copy that diameter, and we're gonna put it here. It's gonna be there, right? Sorry, centimeter, right? So there you go. So I basically make a. Sorry, I'm just gonna hide this for now. So I got a fabric, basic fabric. So I think I'm just gonna do it here, right? So just a bit of demonstration, and I'm gonna subdivide it 99 times, just like what we did all the time, right? So I'm gonna cut a half of it, right? And yeah, so basically what you're gonna do is that you're gonna tap and go to edit mode, and then press Control and click the circle, mesh, knife project, and there you go. You've got you basically make a hole inside the circle, right? And sorry, inside the fabric, right? And now we just have to delete the faces, and that's basically what I did with that, right? And for the outer edges, as you can see that. So here's the thing. Here's my model, right? And here is my. The circle skirt is gonna be a full. You're gonna be ankle length, or at least, or actually a floor length dress, right? So it's gonna be the measurement from that belly button to the floor, basically. And I've done that previously, so I think I've done it previously. So let's use with the stick. So basically, I think this is gonna be around 1 meter, right? Because yeah, it's gonna be 1 meter actually. So subdivide it, and you're gonna extrude it to the bottom, and then you're gonna measure this, and view segment, and that, yeah, there you go. You got a meter. So that's gonna be the width of our circle, right? So let's turn it off for now and turn off our top, turn off our model. And basically, if you take a look at that, this is basically 1 meter. So you see that it's 100, right? And yeah, so just have to extrude this plane. So right now it has 39. So we're gonna have to add another 61 centimeter, right? 61 centimeter, and we're gonna subdivide it by 60, right? To make us, there you go. And we're gonna do the same thing for the top, basically, right? And let's add 61 centimeter, 60, also the bottom part as well, and 61 centimeter and 60. Right, so there you go. So we're gonna have to cut the outer edge, and yes, we can use our circle again. We can duplicate it if you want, and let's make it so the dimension is gonna be, we're gonna add 1 meter basically. Oh, sorry, we're gonna add 2 because left and right. So yeah, it's gonna be 2.2, right? There you go. There, as you can see that this thing meets at the end here, and yeah, we're gonna basically cut this with that same thing. There, mesh, knife project, and you can Control I to invert and then delete the faces. Sorry. Sorry. Make sure that you turn to face and then I face. Right. So there you go. You got that. It's a little bit jagged because this. I think it's because the circle is a little bit jagged, but yeah, I guess it's fine for now. And yeah, basically that's what we do with that. So as you can see that this is actually exactly the same, but this one has smoother edges because the circle has to be smooth because right now this is kind of jagged, right? So yeah, I think, you know what, I'm gonna redo it actually. So instead of doing that, we can delete it. We can make a better circle, right? Let's add, so the vertices here, let's multiply it with the before until it's kind of smooth, right? And we put 2.2, 2.4, oh sorry, 2. How much is to the edge? 2.22, 2.22, right? And yeah, we're gonna cut this with our new circle so that we can have knife project. We can have nice edges, right? You just change it to face and then their face, right? I think, what's up with that? I think this is one of those weird Blender thing where if you want to get a knife project, so you see that, did you notice that if you zoom it out and then you knife project, you get this, jagged edges, right? But if you do that, if you zoom in and then you knife project, it doesn't, right? It's one of those weird Blender things. So that is something to keep in mind. And yeah, now you basically get that. So I forgot to invert it and then delete the face. And now basically you got that exactly the same, right? And yeah, the next thing that we're gonna do is actually. So here's the thing. I mean, like, I'm kind of a kind of a nerd about cleanliness, about cleanliness of my fabric, right? So I kind of like it where, so remember that we have a 68, you divide it by 2, you get 34, right? So you take a look at that, and this is a 34 edges. And yeah, I mean, like, that's what we're gonna do. Sorry, I mean, like, also that we did what I did previously. This is kind of meticulous, right? I want to make sure that each one of these is 1 centimeter. If you try to segment that and show it, you can see that I kind of, make sure that each one of these edges is 1 centimeter, or at least around 1 centimeter, right? And you don't have to do that actually, but I did that. And so yeah, I mean, like, if you want to do that, the way to do that is, just like what I always do, right? So you can clean this, you know, stray vertices, right? So you got that, that, and then that. You can delete resolve the vertices, and we can check this one, 38. So you got already a 38, right? And so this one should be 17. Sorry, 38. Oh, 34. Sorry. So 68 divided by 2 is 34, right? So yeah, now we've got 38. So we're gonna have to lose 2 for each side. So yeah, let's do that. And yeah, I'm just gonna pick this real quick. When I pick this one, and actually, do you know what? I think you don't have to do that. I mean, like, you can. I forgot to use a mirror in the Y, so you can delete the face here, and then you can add another mirror, X and Y. So you only have to do one side, right? So that's kind of time effective. Effective, right? So right now this one should be 17. So if you calculate 17 multiplied by 4, you get 68, right? And so yeah. So if you take a look at with our measure it tool, you will notice that this is 17 basically. It lose 0.04 centimeter. That's fine. But the one thing that you would notice right now is that these edges is not very equal, right? So you can see that this is 1.12, 1.16, 1.29. This one is very small, 0.3. So yeah, so basically that's what I did. So I basically make them equal, right? So the way to do that is basically pick a vertices, and you can press double G, so G and G. So you can now kind of slide along the edges, right? And by doing that, you can get a 1. So until this thing reaches to 1, right? So there, that's 1. Now this is 1.09. You can slide it in again, right? And you can do that. And yeah, basically make things tidy. So that's basically what I did with that one. So you can see that it has a 1 centimeter division, which is nice, and you can do that. However, I'm gonna skip that part for those. I mean, like, I know that a lot of you doesn't really care about the cleanliness of the fabric, but I do. But that's fine. I mean, like, so yeah, I'm gonna skip right into our this, which has already been cleaned. And I'm gonna use this for our demonstration, right? So yeah, I mean, like, you will notice that now I've got skirt layer 1, skirt layer 2, and skirt layer 3. So here is the thing, right? So let me hide this first, right? So here's the thing. You can use this 3 times, right? And that's gonna be fine, but the thing is, if you do that, it's gonna take a really long time to simulate. Even if you don't use that, even if with this technique that I'm gonna talk about, it's still gonna take a while to simulate. So yeah, so here's the trick that I use is that for the second and the third layer, you see that the division of this is actually 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters, right? So this is the first. So the first layer is 1 centimeter, right? So that is 1 centimeter. Meanwhile, for the second and the third layer, I use 2 centimeters division, and that allows us to have, you know, it allows us to have a shorter amount of simulation because now our computer processes 4 times less. Because remember that when you have 1 centimeter division, you can fit 4 of these boxes to one of these box, right? So it means that this to process this, our computer will have to process only a quarter of the amount that it would require to process this, right? So it makes the simulation is going to be a little bit quicker. And the second reason that I do that is that if you have a bigger subdivision, the fabric becomes less. The fabric becomes more stiff, basically, because it cannot bend too much. Because now you only. I mean, like that's kind of hard to explain, but basically, so if you have this two box, the maximum of fold that can happen is here, right? So that's yeah, that's demonstrated. So a fold is basically that, right? That is a fold. And when you have a 2 centimeter division, that is the smallest fold that you can do, right? And meanwhile, if you have like this 1 centimeter thing, the smallest fold that you can do is 1 centimeter. So you will have this more folds basically, and when you have more folds, you kind of lose that volume because what gives volume is kind of a stiffness of the fabric. So I mean, like if your fabric folds more, it becomes less stiff. If that makes any sense. So yeah, I mean, like think of a thick fabric, right? A thick fabric is less likely to fold, and even if they fold, they have larger fold. So meanwhile, a thin fabric like this one will have a finer folds and a little bit more. They will have more folds, right? So yeah, that's basically to kill two birds with one stone, right? So by using 2 centimeter division, you basically cut your simulation time, which is nice, always nice, and also that to make it a little bit stiff, right? Because the thing is, it gives because it is stiff. It gives your finished circle skirt, the layered skirt, a little bit more volume, right? So because what you want is something like this. Yep. So what you want is this very, very wide, very, what I always call it a cage-like skirt, right? Because the volume you need a volume underneath to build up that, this voluptuous skirt, basically. So yeah, so that's what you want, and that's what we want, and that's the reason why we use. This is the strategy that I use. I'm gonna use the third is a 2 centimeter division. So that's the summary of it, right? So yeah. So now now we can actually go straight to assembly. Actually,